Hello, thank you for coming back to my channel. We're gonna do something a little different today. I'm just gonna, be drawing and just kind of talk openly without a script because I feel like scripts make me, they make me have no emotion. So, we're just gonna, try this out and it could fail, but that's okay. But yeah, so today I'm gonna talk a little bit about sports in my life and like how they've kind of affected me. Um, yeah, I've always not really been a fan of like competitive sports just because I always end up getting hurt or they're never really fun for me. I think like the first few sports I've ever like played, they were I think it was t-ball and soccer. So already if you've seen like little kids play t-ball, it's the most hilarious thing you've ever seen. No one knows what they're doing and no one knows if they've won or not. It's honestly fantastic to watch, to play. I don't even have any like the only memory I have of t-ball was a dream I had where there was a leopard seal in a bush and I had to go get the ball. So that's fun. That's the only memory of t-ball I had when I was a kid. And I played t-ball for like a year or like a season, I guess. When I say a year, it's probably like a season. I've also played soccer. I played soccer for like a little bit. I don't remember exactly how long, but I know it was like at least like 2 or 3 times, and I could be wrong. My siblings would call me out if I was, so that's fine. But I didn't really like soccer either. I was just like a bad like soccer player and t-ball player and just like any sport I played, I'm just bad at it. Any competitive sport, I guess. With soccer, I was like pretty much every position, and I was such. I can't even like begin to describe how bad of a soccer player I was. I think I only made one goal. No, yeah, I only made one goal in my entire like career, and it was I remember it. It wasn't even like one of the bigger goals. It was like a tiny one, and I was so gosh dang proud of myself for making the goal. But yeah, mostly I went to soccer for the snacks. I didn't like waking up, and I didn't like the actual sport because everyone was named Maddie or Madison, so everyone got confused. I had a soccer team that had 7 like Maddies, Madisons, Madelines. Like I had to come up with a name that no one else had, and by the time they got to me, the only name I could think of that started with an M-A was Max. So I was the little tomboy named Max who didn't like playing the sports at all. I was just there for the sweet delicious orange slices and Capri Suns. Um yeah, I didn't really play too many sports. I think like the only thing I like played like consistently was like tag, hide and seek on my block, and like kickball. And again, no one on the street wanted me. They'd always be like, "You're too small, you won't run fast enough, you're pretty much a useless player. If you score, it doesn't count." Which, is fair. I'm a small, scrawny person, and back then, when I was like 10, I was even smaller and scrawnier. It was no bueno. So there is that. I honestly didn't play any sports until my freshman year of high school, and then it was tennis, and I wasn't even good at tennis. Like, just let that. I wasn't good at tennis. Oh my goodness, Hank Hill would like not be proud of me right now. um, but no, I went to practices all the time and I enjoyed it. Honestly, I did enjoy tennis. I never won a single game. If that puts anything into perspective, I never won a single game of tennis, which is really sad. I actually once was like super close to winning, and I don't remember specifically the rules of tennis, but there's this one rule where it's like I don't even remember, but there's a rule that some people, like some like schools would use to prolong the game and other schools wouldn't, because who needs to prolong the game? And I actually almost won, but because the rule was in place, it was like a tie between me and this other girl for like literally like an hour. I was the one person who kept my entire team behind, instead of going back home. And, it was like, I don't remember what day it was. I don't think it matters, but no one was very happy, and I was just kind of completely oblivious, lost in my own like sadness because I lost the game. But we ended up going home at like 8:30, which is not like normal. Usually we all go home around like 6 or 7, like 7:30 at the latest. But I was the one person who kept the entire team behind and like completely oblivious. But I honestly I did enjoy it. I don't know why I didn't do it again. I think like my sophomore year I was like, no, I don't want to. It's hot outside. That Arizona sun is out there trying to murder everyone. Meanwhile, people are out here playing sports and running track. But it's cool. I think like, yeah, that was like the last like competitive sport I played. And then I kind of realized I didn't like competitive sports just because, who wants to be competitive when you can just go skateboarding? Yeah, honestly, I'm not a fan of competitive sports. I think if I had to go back, I'd probably either keep doing tennis or do track because I actually really enjoy running. Like, if I'm ever like super stressed out, I'll just go for a run and run away from my metaphorical problems. I can't run for very far, very fast because your girl don't drink enough water. She likes that sweet Dr. Pepper. That was nasty, I'm sorry. But it's all cool. Yeah, but like basically I like just kind of landed on going running and skateboarding. I really enjoy longboarding. I have so many boards that I use, but I only have one longboard, and if it's not if it's not super windy outside, I'll usually like take it out. His name is Tony and I love Tony. I'm drawing him right now, you can see it. But yeah, I super enjoy longboarding. I learned in Rexburg, Utah, where the roads were like absolutely trash. So what I ended up doing is I went to like a church parking lot and I was just like longboarding there. And I'm not good at it, like definitely not anything to write home about. I'm just out here trying to enjoy my life and my longboard Tony. But I was just like longboarding, and apparently like it's a hot spot for other people who like to longboard, which like, no, go away. I'm trying to learn and not make a mockery of myself. But one time this kid, he like longboarded up to me, or he longboarded into the parking lot, and I was like, okay. And I was just like going around in circles, going down like a small hill, not even a hill, just like a small slope down. And he was like sat at the edge of the parking lot, and I'm like, okay, like what are you doing here? Like if you want to come, you like ask, like just come hang out with me. There's nothing wrong. And so I like eventually got sick of like waiting for him to just get up and start longboarding with me. So what I ended up doing is I went over to him, just bumped the microphone. I went over to him and I was like, yo, do you want to come longboard with me? I sounded so much like, like one of those like second graders who like goes up to another second grader and they ask like, do you want to play with me? And he was on the phone and he was like, oh yeah, give me 1 second. And I felt super awkward. I don't know why. I'm not usually socially anxious. I felt super awkward though, so I longboarded away. And then I ate it in front of him. Like I just straight up fell. And I panicked, so I ran into the church to hide because I didn't want to talk to this person anymore because I was so embarrassed. And then I figured he'd left. And he didn't. Long story short, he never left. He was waiting for me because I wanted to longboard with him. And, you know, I eventually had to eat my own shame and I went back outside and he was like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And I was like, "I just went to the bathroom for, 20 minutes." And he was like, "Oh, cool." So, we did end up having a very positive interaction, but I never spoke to him again, and I never went back to the church parking lot again unless I knew no one was going to be there. Anyways, this video is too long. Thank you for listening. If you want to subscribe, go for it. I'm not stopping you. I won't put it against you if you don't want to. Let me know if you like the format where I just sit and talk to a microphone with no one else here. It's great. Anyways, bye. Thank you for watching.